This is the first video I'm doing completely blind, meaning I have absolutely no script or notes or anything of the sort. It's another experiment I'm doing. Let's see how well I do. 2015 was the 15th year since the year 2000. That's a terrible intro. 2015 was a pretty good year for gaming. Not the best by any means, but still awesome. And these are my top 10 favorite games of the year 2015. A video that I'm sure everyone is doing. I'm so unoriginal. At number 10 I have Cities: Skylines. It's been a long time since I've played a game of this genre. In my youth, I always loved tycoon games, my favorite being Zoo Tycoon 2, with all the expansion packs. I was such a happy kid. But as a young adult now, I don't have the time for tycoon games so often. But this one was the exception. Because it was that good, I had to keep playing it. I felt that its traffic management system was really unique compared to other city builders, and it was simpler in some ways, yet more complicated in others than SimCity, its main competitor. But the one thing I truly loved about it is that while SimCity you're stuck with the idea of becoming a mega metropolis, in Cities: Skylines you don't have to create a mega metropolis. You can still make a small farm town, or you could make a big city and then have a small farm town area on the other side. You have a lot more options, especially with the inclusion of mods. Number 9, The Witcher 3. This game's marketing campaign, oh my word. It went from unknown game number 1 to somewhat more known but still pretty unknown game number 2 to mega AAA crazy release. Marketing. So when this game was about to come out, I went ahead and played the first 2 as well. And then the third one. I actually had to skip part of the first one because I got very, very bored, honestly. But then the second one improved upon the gameplay greatly, and then the third one did even more so, in my opinion. It was such a huge, vivid world, and the graphics were incredible. The only thing really holding it back was, again, the gameplay wasn't my favorite. But exploring everything, the story, everything else is way up there. And number 8 goes to Pokemon Shuffle. Mobile game. Imagine the hate I'm getting from that. It's a simple match 3 game, except you can take Pokemon from anywhere and put them almost anywhere else. The game takes into account type advantages as you battle other Pokemon, and it's all Pokemon themed for 2. That definitely puts it over games like Candy Crush. Basically, for me, it's the perfect game for playing when you're pooping. Number 7, Tales of Zestiria. I have the collector's edition, so it has these little cute figures. 4 of them. They're adorable, and it came with a bunch of other stuff too, but anyway. Tales of Zestiria. I'm a huge fan of the Tales games, though Tales of Zestiria, while I was hoping it would be way more up there on my top 10 list, it definitely has its issues. Also, I haven't really beaten it yet. I'm close, I think. But compared to other Tales games like Tales of the Abyss and Tales of Xillia, I don't find the story quite as intriguing, plus the camera issues. It has plenty of camera issues. It's like, hello, I'm trying to fight this thing, but I need to see when there's other things attacking me. Come on, camera. Oh my word. I get it. There's a wolf. I get it. There's a bug. I get it. There's an enemy. Right there. I see it. It's taking up the entire screen. Come on, game. No. And when you're trying to play it co-op, and the other person can't even see their character on screen because the screen is focused on the enemy that player 1 is looking at and not the enemy that player 2 is looking at way on the other side of the map. It just gets complicated and confusing. And really, the camera is the only major issue I see with the game. Everything else is just... it's Tales. I love it. Really good character development, intriguing story. It's all there. In number 6, I have Yoshi's Woolly World. That game, until the last world, was so just relaxing. I played it co-op with my roommate, and man, it was a blast. For just casual fun. And the characters are super adorable, and I love the little yarn amiibo that it came with. It's plenty easy to just get through the levels, but 100%ing it adds a good amount of challenge. And you know a game has to be good if I'm going to 100% it. And I did. So it's a really good game. It basically takes the usual Yoshi's Island formula and Kirby's Epic Yarnifies it by not only making the game all yarn and wool themed, but also by making it significantly easier, as in almost impossible to die. So really the challenge comes from finishing the levels 100%. Although those bonus levels you get from completing all the other levels in the world those were challenging. I still have nightmares about that giant wool piranha plant. Number 5 is Ori and the Blind Forest. This game is beautiful. Just look at these visuals and bask in their gloriousness. The game tells a sad tale, and the art design choices greatly help tell the story. And it has some interesting combat for a 2D platformer. I don't think I've seen other games that do it this way. Also the music. This game has one of the greatest soundtracks in recent years, and it all adds to the atmosphere and the immersion, both of which are things I am crazy huge fans of. And number 4 goes to Super Mario Maker. I don't know if you guys know this, but I am a huge Mario fan. Mario's my man. So to finally be able to make your own levels and play other people's levels was a blast. It was a big blast. There's not really much else to say about it other than it's Mario, but you make your own levels and play other people's levels. It's like the simplest concept to understand. Number 3 goes to Grow Home. If you missed this gem, then you are missing out. This game took me completely by surprise. In fact, I played it for a while, about 15 minutes at first, and then was like, this is boring, and then cast it aside, only to then pick it up again a month later, and it just blew my mind away. You play as this adorable little robot as you try to build this plant up and up and up and up out into the stratosphere. Its low-poly art design is really pretty, actually, and it follows color theory quite well. The big thing for me, though, is again the atmosphere. Jumping from leaf to leaf is super fun, as is reaching another main island and getting to explore it to find all the crystal shards, which gets you more power, more jumping, more jetpack. This is another game that I've completed 100%, which is something I very often do not do. I'm the kind of guy that gets bored once they beat a game, unless it's a game that has crazy amounts of side stuff to do. And even then, sometimes. A lovely short little gem of a game, and I highly recommend it. Number 2 goes to Fallout 4. I mean, what else? I'm lucky enough to have a crazy amazing computer, and as such, I haven't had any problems at all. I see plenty of people complaining about the graphics and about the stability of the game, but thankfully, I haven't had any of those issues, aside from, I think I've crashed like once, and I've had one frame rate issue. Overall, though, my experience with the game has been a blast, and that's including modding already. In fact, I'm surprised by just the sheer number of mods that exist already, despite the Fallout 4 editing tool not even being released yet. I already have like 30 mods installed, and I'm positive that as more are added, it'll just continuously grow and grow as an even better game. And I mean, the DLC isn't even out yet. However, I do have to say I am very disappointed in the choice to have the main character be voxed for the main character to be voiced and to have only 4 options of dialogue. And not only are there 4 options of dialogue, but there are 4 options of dialogue that almost all end up being the same thing. Like, you say something and then the character's reaction will be like a 1-sentence difference than if you said anything else. That ruins the replayability and the role-playing aspect of it. You're not playing as person you want to be, and plus the intro of the game also takes that away. I could rant about this forever, but overall, gameplay, size of everything, modding, Fallout 4 is and is going to be one of the most played games for me this, next, and the following year. Number 1! Ooh, drum roll! Drum roll on the thighs! Drum rolling on the thighs! Undertale. I can hear half of you going, yeah, it was a good game, and the other half of you going, not that again. And I will say this, it is definitely not a game for everyone. It is extremely story-heavy, extremely character-heavy, humor-heavy, but the gameplay has something to be desired. At least in terms of difficult gameplay, and open-worldiness. It doesn't have either of those. And if you're someone that needs more strategy in a turn-based RPG, or you're someone that needs more action combat, that's basically saying that you're not going to like Undertale. But for the experience that is Undertale, the characters, the unique moral aspect of it all, the whole everything, It's an experience. An experience that I recommend everyone try. It's perfectly understandable if you don't like it, but for me, Undertale was the best gaming experience I've had this year. In a small package. I actually found the gameplay to be really enjoyable, though limited. And that soundtrack. Oh my goodness, that soundtrack! Easily the greatest game soundtrack of 2015. Or in the Blind Forest, I'd probably get second. And heck, if I had to make a top 10 game soundtracks, Undertale would definitely... I don't know about top it, but it would definitely be up there. My favorite genre of music is when chiptune gets mixed with other things, which is exactly what Undertale does, and I feel like more games should do that. The chiptune aspect of the soundtrack definitely reflects the whole 8-bit, 16-bit graphics style. But then, it adds in real instruments and better quality sound and stuff, and it comes together and creates a magical package that is a wondrous adventure that you should always replay like 3 times if you want to get the full experience. And then each time you play it, you do super different stuff. There's 3 main runs, and then there's like 3 different neutral endings, 3 different positive endings, and 2 different negative endings. That's a lot of different endings. And this is another game that I could just go on and on about, but that's not what this video is about, so I'll spare you. And those are my top 10 favorite games of 2015. Let me know what yours were. And by the way, I have a list of all of these games, as well as mini games that I was considering putting on here, on my Games Grabber page, in the collection entitled Best Games of 2015. Games Grabber being that website where you can manage collections of games. Be it games you have, games you want, your favorite games like what I'm doing here, whatever. Plus you can look at other people's collections and get ideas about what you might like, based on what other people like. It's all very awesome. I definitely recommend checking it out, and maybe giving me a follow on there. So thank you for watching, and putting up with my opinions. Stay awesome.